Hello friends, Mandar here. I am back with another video. Today the February 2023 visa bulletin is out. It was unexpected. I was expecting it next week and I quickly took a peek at it and there are no date changes. We'll still go through the visa bulletin, look at the family category and employment based category. You can look at the timestamps and skip to the section that you are interested in. We'll also talk about the premium processing expansion that is taking place with the USCIS. Soon, many more people will be able to apply for premium processing for I-140s and EADs in the upcoming months. So we'll talk about that. So watch this video until the end and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration and lifestyle related videos for US and Canada. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say on this video or on my channel is for information purpose only. And for your specific immigration needs, before you take any action, you should hire a competent immigration lawyer. Now check out the links in the description because you might find something interesting, and with those links you'll get a little bit of a discount and channel will get a little bit of a commission. Also, if you want to talk to me, do contact me on my Patreon site, or if you want to actually talk to me on the phone, there is a Calendly invite that you can select the time for the weekend and then you can talk to me that way. Now the February 2023 visa bulletin is out, and as usual we are going to take a comparative look at February versus January visa bulletin. Now the February 2023 visa bulletin will not be effective until 1st of February. So if your date is current, which is unlikely because nothing has changed, but if that was the case, you would still have to wait until the February 1st to take advantage of the date changes in the February 2023 visa bulletin. So let's do a comparative analysis of January versus February. So here is the side-by-side comparison of January 2023 visa bulletin versus February 2023 visa bulletin. Now let's scroll down to the family-based section first. We'll look at the family sponsorship numbers and look at the final action chart first. So here is the final action chart for the family based section. F1 category. The F1 category means the unmarried sons and daughters of US citizens. There is a cap for it, 23,400 plus any numbers that are not required in the fourth preference category. So what has changed here? Let's see. So for all chargeability, the dates remain current. The China, mainland born or India, the dates remain current. The dates remain at 1st of December 2014. For Mexico, the dates have advanced by almost 5 months from November 15th, 2000 to 1st of April 2001. And for Philippines, the dates have remained unchanged, 1st of March 2012. F2A category has been current for a very long time. So if you fall in that category F2A, which is spouses and children of permanent residents, then your category is current and you can immediately apply for your 485 after 130 is approved. F2B category, all chargeability, China and India remain the same for 22nd of September 2015. Mexico has also remained the same, although we have seen a little bit of a progression in Mexico, but that is not true for this visa bulletin around. The 1st of June 2001 remains the same, and Philippines 22nd of October 2011 also remains the same. F3 category also remains exactly the same. I am not seeing any date changes in the F3 category, and F4 category also in the final action date chart there are no changes in the F4 category as well. Now let's go down to the filing date chart for family based category. This is the chart to be used if you want to apply for 485 in the family based category. You are typically allowed to use the filing date chart in the family based category. So F1, the dates haven't changed at all. Everything remains exactly the same. 8th of August 2016 for all chargeability, China and India. For Mexico, it is 1st of December 2002, and for Philippines, it is 22nd of April 2015. F2A category, again it is current, so if you are in that category, you have a visa number available immediately, so you can apply for 485. F2B category, nothing, no changes at all. F3 category and F4 category, I'm not seeing any changes for all chargeability China, India, Mexico or Philippines. So no date changes for family based category. It is really surprising that they still haven't been able to secure any more visa numbers for any new demand that is going to be applied. All of the current visa numbers that are available, that are going towards the pending applications that are already being processed or already being submitted. So that is what we can conclude from this. So there are no extra visa numbers for any new applications to be tied up with. So basically consulates are in full swing. They are having the visa interviews. I know personally a lot of people have contacted regarding their parents, regarding their brothers and sisters, and family based category is in full swing in the consulates. All the interviews are happening, the visas are being given out. So remember 2 years, 3 years back during the Trump administration, the consulates were closed, and because of that a lot of visa numbers were spilled over into the employment based category. But that is no longer the case. The consulates are processing family based green cards in full swing. They will use up all of their visa numbers, and there will hardly be any spillover in the next year to the employment based category. That is the reality. So really, unless there are any law changes or unless there are the per country cap or increase in the visa numbers for employment based category or removal of the dependence from the numerical limit, any of those things happen, there is not going to be any relief for the backlog country in the employment based category. So with that said, let's go to the employment based category and see what has changed. So this is the final action chart for the employment based category. The ball has dropped, the confetti has been cleared up. It's time to focus once again. The new year brings new time to recalibrate. But we are still dealing with the same issues. The traditional stock bond portfolio had its worst performance since 2008 crisis. And the experts at major banks think that this could be just the beginning. The stock market is still stagnant, the inflation is still raging, and many investors are still scrambling. But not the Masterworks investors. Recently, a member earned over $65,000 from his investment. And I'll let you in on a secret. He would have never invested in this asset before knowing about Masterworks. And it's not just one user. Masterworks' 3 most recent exits delivered returns of 10%, 13% and 35% in just last 2 months. See, with Masterworks, you can invest in SEC qualified offerings of legendary artwork for a fraction of the art's whole cost. Now, I'm no art expert and I'm not a millionaire, but Morgan Stanley says assets like art with low correlation to the stock market are becoming more popular. Over 600,000 people have signed up so far, and with the market looking shaky for the foreseeable future, demand is growing. Offerings have even sold out in under an hour, but my subscribers can get priority access at the link in the description. So check out the link in the description for Masterworks and get the priority access through Wisdom Trends link. Now let's continue with our topic. So for all chargeability, EB1 remains current. For China, EB1 had retrogressed, China and India, so they remain at the same date. So as January, same date in February as well, 1st of February 2022. So no date change for EB1 India in the final action date chart. EB2 has remained exactly the same throughout, no date changes. It is retrogressed across the board. All chargeability, China has also retrogressed, El Salvador is also retrogressed. India date also remains the current, unchanged, 8th October 2011. Unfortunately, it's too far back. It's now 13 years, 12 years and few months back, which is incredible. Mexico and Philippines also no date changes there. EB3 remains exactly the same across the board. All chargeability remains current. China is retrogressed to 1st of August 2018. El Salvador remains current. India remains, the date remains the same from last visa bulletin, 15th of June 2012. So no change in the final action chart for EB3 India as well. And Mexico and Philippines remain current. Other workers category also haven't seen any movement. The only change we have in a certain religious worker category, that category was unavailable last time in the January visa bulletin, but in the February visa bulletin now these have dates like 22nd of June 2022 for all chargeability China, and for El Salvador it was 15th of March 2018. For India it's again 22nd of June 2022, and for Mexico it's 15th of September 2020, Philippines 22nd of June 2022. So the unavailability of that category has changed to available, but there is a retrogress date across it. The rest of the chart remains the same, so EB5 category has not changed at all. So it is a little bit disappointing that India or China hasn't changed at all in terms of EB2, EB1, EB2 or EB3. All the dates remain the same. There is no progression at all. What this means is they're still stuck with the same date range of the applications that they already have to process. So they haven't been able to kind of take on the new batch of pending applications to move these final action date chart further. So imagine they have a certain set of applications in a particular time frame up to a certain date, and they are still working on that. They haven't been able to take another set of pending applications from 485. So thus they haven't changed any dates for EB2, EB1 or EB3. Now let's look at the filing date chart for EB employment based category. The first preference category, all chargeability remains current. China remains the same, 1st of June 2022. El Salvador remains current. India for EB1 in the filing date chart remains the same date as last time, 1st of June 2022, which is retrogressed, and Mexico and Philippines remain current. EB2 remains the same across the board. It is fully backlogged in all chargeability China, India, Mexico and Philippines. India's date remains the same as last visa bulletin, 1st of May 2012. No progression even in the filing date chart. So they don't want to create any more demand or any more applicants to come in, because they don't have extra green cards or visa numbers available for any extra demand. They are still short of the visa numbers based on the applications that they already have in process. EB3 also remains exactly the same, no changes there. It remains stuck at 1st of August 2012 for EB3 India. Other workers category also remains exactly the same in the filing date chart, except for all chargeability it has retrogressed even further from 8th of September 2022 to 1st of February 2020. So it is more retrogression for the rest of the world. It is not very good news. All the other dates for China and India remains the same. So EB other workers category also remains backlogged for India at 1st of August 2012. There is retrogression in El Salvador and Mexico and Philippines as well. So all those dates, all chargeability dates for other workers category have gone back to 2020 for rest of the world. For EB5 there are no date changes for China and India. So China and India, 5th unreserved category for EB5 is retrogressed to January of 2016 for China and 8th of December 2019 for India. The rest of the categories in EB5 remain current for everybody. Now let's check to see if there are any notes in this visa bulletin towards the end of the visa bulletin, because this is an indication of what's to expect in the upcoming months. So what they are saying is family sponsored second preference visa availability. The numbers used in F2A category has remained steady throughout FY23, and it may be necessary to establish an F2A final action date as early as March to keep the numbers within the annual limit. Now what this means is, remember that F2A category in the family section which is current since a very long time, since last 2 years or so, that will undergo retrogression. That's what it says. So F2A category, if you are current right now, you should apply for your 485, because next month in the March visa bulletin they are saying that F2A category will retrogress. Now how much will not know. Now what is the next they are saying retrogression in the worldwide final action and application filing dates in the employment third preference other workers category. So they are also saying that there will be a retrogression in the third preference category EB3 for the rest of the world and for other workers category. So there is going to be a date established, a retrogress date established in the next visa bulletin. So we saw F2A category is going to retrogress, an application final action and application filing dates for employment third preference for rest of for other workers is also going to retrogress in the next visa bulletin, which will be March visa bulletin. Extension of employment fourth preference certain religious workers category. So that's all. So basically F2A is also going to retrogress, and EB3 other workers category is also going to retrogress next month. No changes in the date in EB1, EB2 and EB3 for India, unfortunately. Now let's look at which chart they are going to use, if they have published that so far. Okay, so in the next month, which is for February visa bulletin, they haven't updated it yet, but I'm expecting that all employment based preference category will continue to use dates of filing chart in the February visa bulletin. If it gets updated by the time I upload this video, I'll let you know, but at this point of time they haven't published which chart to be used by employment based category in February 2023. Whereas for family based category, they will continue to use filing date chart, that's for sure. They may allow the filing date chart to be used for employment based category as well, but that's not known yet. Now I also wanted to mention that beginning of January 30th of January 2023, premium processing will be extended to EB1C I-140. So far it was not available. It will also be extended for EB2 NIW I-140s. So EB1C category, if you were applying for I-140, the premium processing is not available at this current point, but they are going to start premium processing for EB1C, as if that category was not processing fast enough compared to EB3 and EB2 and EB3. They are speeding up the process even further. So if you qualify in EB1C, your processing of green card will be even more faster. So those of you who are multinational managers who come to US with L1A, and if you are qualified for EB1C, your green card processing is going to be even more faster, with I-140 being able to process with premium processing, which will take 2 to 3 weeks to process. Later on, they are also going to extend this premium processing capability for EADs, and that's going to come later in the year in May or June timeframe. If you have any other questions, do let me know in the comment section below, or reach out to me on my Patreon or through Calendly. And if you like the content of this video, do hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.